Hello and welcome to another episode of Podcasting Your Purpose here on YouTube. I am Antoinette Blake, your host, the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, and I hope you all are having a marvelous Monday. And today I wanted to talk about podcasting parties. That's right. I was actually going to do another podcasting pointers for promotion, and I started thinking about podcasting and parties because on Friday I had an opportunity to be part of a Zoom virtual sip and wine party. I guess that's what they're calling them. And we were able to connect with other podcasters under Elite Conversations Radio. And I said, we had such a good time that podcasting parties seems like a good idea. So whether you're a fraternity, a sorority, or a social group, you can create a podcast show, whether you're HBCUs, community colleges, high school friends, create a podcast party. You can have birthday parties, celebrating parties and birthdays in April or May or June. You can actually do zodiac parties, inviting people with the same zodiac sign. How about anniversaries? Having a podcast that is for people maybe married 10 years, 20 years, or like my husband and I, 30 years, right? You can have people that's coming in, connecting and talking and sharing and leaving their legacy for those that are coming up behind them. You, of course, can have a party with authors, writers, directors, musicians, singers, actors, coming together to have a podcasting party. And you can create this podcast now that's going to, again, leave a lasting legacy even after we're out of this pandemic. So let's think about when you want to start this podcast party, first thing you want to think of is the title. What is the title of your podcast and who your target market audience is going to be? And again, it could be your fraternity, it could be sororities, it could be the Divine Nine, it could be HBCUs, it could be high schools, it could be families, friends, inventors, people that like to cook, people that like to share product reviews. And if you've checked out me on Facebook, I'm always doing those product reviews for influencer.com. So check out my Instagram page as well. You can create a podcast for bloggers such as myself. You remember every Wednesday at 1, I have the Blog Your Way to a Business Profit blog with Elite Conversations Radio. But if you head over to my blog, delblogger.com, you'll read some great posts that I have written, as well as having an option to get your basic blogging tips for beginners book. And again, the basic blogging beginners book, the basic blogging tips for beginners book is a great way to help you get started with your blog. Or even if you are a veteran blogger and you're looking for some tips on driving traffic to your blog or monetizing your blog. Tongue-tied today on Monday. I don't know what's going on. But again, head over to delblogger.com so that you can order your basic blogging tips for beginners. So today, again, I just wanted to pop in on this Monday. I'm not sure where you are. The weather here is, it's crazy. It's raining, it's thundering, it's blowing. I mean, it's just God's trying to tell us to just stay quiet, stay still. So I know that's what we need to be doing anyway, especially during this pandemic and the self-quarantine. So podcasting parties. Think of your topic. What are you guys going to talk about when you get together? Again, it could be fraternities, sororities, it could be colleges, it could be high school reunions, it could be birthdays, family, friends, authors, teachers, preachers, attorneys, realtors, whatever the case may be. Make it a party. So when you go to Zoom, because that's where everybody's going now, right? Go to Zoom. You can create your podcast from there by simply recording your meeting. So you go into Zoom, you've got everybody in the Zoom room, you hit the recording, you guys start with your script, whatever, if you're going to have individuals give tips or individuals question and answers. Make sure you've got that all laid out. And then you hit that record. Once you record, you can also pause. So say you, for example, you want to include some sponsorships or some ads, then you're going to pause your recording so that you can add that in later. When you're ready to start up again, hit record again. Continue recording. Again, with a party, it's probably going to last more than the sweet spot of 28 to 30 minutes. So you want to have that podcast for at least an hour, depending on how many people you have at your party, how many people you've, invited to your party. So let's say you have 9 people on the line. About an hour is good enough, as long as you are, letting each other talk and there's not a whole lot of over talking. But then again, if you're sipping and it's a wine and sip, then it can get out of control. But once you've completed the Zoom, you end, you hit the pause button. And once you end that meeting, that MP4 will be uploaded to your computer. You can then convert that MP4 to an MP3 and upload it to your podcast. And this can actually be a fun Friday, wine Wednesday, motivational Monday, whatever the case may be. Creating a podcasting party is going to get your brand out there, building more exposure online, which is what we want to do. And it's a great way to connect. So you can take that Zoom meeting, record it, and then upload it to your podcast. Okay. So let's talk about podcasting, the steps. And again, if you are interested in my 60-minute, deep dive mini coaching session, that's only $77. I had a new client. I finished up with her today. I have another new client tomorrow at 10, and I'm helping so many people start their podcast. And I also have the Podcasting Your Purpose book, web book, which contains the schedule. So once you start, looking at your calendar, see the day that you want to schedule, promote, and publish that podcast. And then again, in here, it's what is a podcast, why start a podcast, the power of podcasting, planning a podcast, podcasting like a pro. What mics are you going to use? Again, don't spend a lot of money. I got this one. I ordered this one from Amazon, less than $20. It simply plugs right into your smartphone. If you're looking for something bigger and better for your laptop, there's equipment like this. Again, I have that in the book. We also talk about podcasting promotion pointers. Remember, I said you're never one and done. You've got to promote yourself. Try bartering with others, get them to advertise on your podcast. And then again, connect with others. Try to find other guests. And if you don't want to have your own podcast, remember I gave you some tips on how to be a guest, how to reach out to podcast hosts to be on their podcast as well. Podcasting for profit, monetizing and sponsorship, podcasting hosting plans. Now remember, I always talk about Anchor FM as being a great platform in which to start. And I'm going to continue telling you that because I've been with Anchor since 2017. But I've also been with Elite Conversations Radio for a minute. So they are my other hosting company that promotes my podcast, uploads my podcast, creates the show notes for my podcast for Blog Your Way to a Business Profit. So it's Elite Conversations Radio. I will leave the link to them in the show notes as well. But again, you want to start creating this podcast. You want to start building your brand, and expanding your exposure online, because we are in a virtual world and people are looking for you. They're listening for you. They want you, and you have something to share with them. So again, I always leave you with the 7 reasons why you should start a podcast. 1, it's easy to consume. People can listen to your podcast anywhere. You remember that intimate relationship we talked about? They can listen to you anywhere while they're walking the dog, working out, doing dishes, vegging on the sofa, whatever the case may be. It's convenient for them to consume, and it's easy for you to produce. Also, it increases your reach and expands your audience online. So you can have a website, you can have a blog, you can have a brick and mortar, but a podcast is going to even expand that audience more. They're going to come to like you. They're going to come to trust you. And if they like and trust you when it's time to buy from you, most likely they will do so as well. It's inexpensive and easy to produce. Remember, I have these mics. This one, I will leave the link to all of these mics that I've purchased. They're affiliate links. It's not going to cost you anything more. It's just going to help me with a cup of coffee or something if you buy from me. So, I'll leave the Amazon link. But I've got this this mic here. I've got this mic here, and I also have a what's called a boom box. It's not a boom box, but it helps with the cutting down of the echo. So I'll leave that as well. And that information is actually in the book, Podcasting Your Purpose. Again, this web book is only $15.99. My basic blogging tips for beginners is $9.99, and together it's $26. Free shipping. So if you're interested, please make sure that you leave me a comment or head over to my blog, dellblogger.com. You can order the book directly from there. But if you want it autographed, you'll have to order it from me. Send me an email, info@ablakeenterprises.com, and I'll get it out to you. I go to the post office once a week with my mask and my gloves, but I go once a week. So why you want to start a podcast? I gave you those 2 tips. It's easy, it's convenient, it increases your audience, it's inexpensive to produce. It's also creating that subject matter expert. You're becoming a subject matter expert in whatever your niche or your topic is. Even if it's a party, you are podcasting a purpose. You are podcasting your party. And that is going to be so much fun because, again, we as humans, we still need to have that connection. We still have to have that heart to heart. So having a party podcast is pretty cool. And it helps you stand out from your competition and others as well when you tell them that you have a podcast and you're looking to invite people to come over on Friday night or Saturday night or even Monday afternoon. It builds trust. Again, likability, trust. And so when it's time to monetize, people will buy from you. And it just, like I said, it broadens your brand. You have a vision, you have a voice, and you can literally change someone's life. So that is the power of podcasting. Again, this workbook is available $15.99. The basic blogging tips for beginners is $9.99. Together, the book bundle is $26. I take PayPal and Cash App and all that other stuff, but I need for you to head over to dellblogger.com so you can subscribe to that as well so that you can keep up with all that's happening with the Delaware Blogger. And on Anchor FM, the Delaware Blogger Podcast. So thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with all your friends, your family, even your foes. I don't care, because this is what it's all about. And don't forget, Wednesdays at 1, blog your way to a business profit on Elite Conversations under Blog Talk Radio. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social at a distance, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. Have a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye.